This week on Sailing Lady Africa, we start building up our seating area. We take you guys for a tour to our South African Costco. We have a lovely potjie at my cousin's house and start making the frame for our cabinets. I took a break from building to enjoy our creation, but it was straight back to work with Boss Ricky.
So we've just got this floor in place. This is the template that we've cut out. What we're going to do is we'll cut a nice big hatch in this one to have access, because all our through holes and that are underneath here. We're going to have a nice big access panel. Previously we had a small one, and then we'll start building our cabinets up from here. We're just waiting for our wood from the timber supplier, so I gave them the dimensions. I told them what wood I wanted in, and they're cutting me all the lengths already for that.
Once our floors were in, we could start building our frame for our seating area.
So here's basically the template of what the new seating area will be like. What it is, I've got the frame up against this side, and then I took all of those measurements across. This is just the frame, it's not the main structure that will hold it. What I'll do is I'll change a lot of these 20 by 20 mil squares. For the horizontals, I'll change them to 20 by 40s, and then for the verticals, I'll leave them as 20 by 20s. And so this is basically just the frame layout. Now all the bottom, there's some missing also in here. They'll get epoxied onto the hull, and then all the joints, I'll just do some epoxy filleting just for some added strength. And then all of that will get closed with plywood, and I'll get some nice big hatch covers in there, so that you can, or some access covers that you can just open up and get things out of. And I'll pull some shelving in there, and this we might access it from that side, so we'll see. And this side you got the same, it's a bench over here, so obviously without all the insets yet. So on this side you'll probably have a little sink somewhere. I'm going to bolt this area here closed and have a built-in flush fit microwave. We'll have a 650 gap, and then I'll build up the new galley. Will get built up over here. The cooking hob, fridges on this side, transfer a little bit of the way to the back. So we'll have a fridge on this side, and we'll stick in a freezer on that side next to the washing machine, just to distribute the weight a little bit. How I built the framing was just took that drill that you guys saw in our previous episode. So I just drilled the wood with a pilot hole, not right through, just through the first one. And then I got a 30 mil by, I think 3.2 mil screw, brass screw, and screw it in. And that's what I used for the securing. And I also put marine wood glue. It's polyurethane based wood glue to attach the two together, just for added strength for the framing work.
We finished up our framework, and now it was time to enjoy the rest of our weekend. We're going to church.
Yeah, we missed last week, so we're going this week.
We're going this week to church, and then we're going to go, after church we're going to go to the South African Costco, which is called Makro. And
it's not Micro, it is
Makro. We are gonna go home, offload the groceries and stuff, and then we're gonna go to my grand's place and chill there, and then for dinner we have a potjie by my cousins. So, and if you don't know what a potjie is, it's a steel pot dish that you cook beef and a stew.
So yeah, it's like a stew in a steel pot that you put on the braai. Or over a fire or something like that.
Yeah, so we're gonna have that.
I'll show you.
He loves Costco.
I do. I love Costco. So much stuff. Get your tires changed, put some fuel in,
Get your groceries, buy
some
clothes.
steak out of who knows where, some Alaskan crab. You get whatever you want in Costco. And sometimes they give you free samples. That they don't do in South Africa. There's no free samples for anyone in South Africa.
No, nothing in South Africa is free.
Yeah, you pay for everything. We'll give you a tour of the South African Costco, we'll call it. It's good. Do we need paint?
No, we need food.
They got Milkybar in bulk. Should I take one? Getting some tools. So I don't like to suckle.
What's sickle?
And suckle is a word that we use in South Africa, and it's pretty much like struggle. So I don't like to struggle. And the solution to struggling is get good tools. I want a Dremel tool. Buy me one. Please, Anne.
For Christmas, maybe one day. When I
One day.
have a lot of money.
Okay. So the situation after 10 minutes.
Ready.
What do you got?
Got some pickles.
You like pickles so much?
Ricky made me settle for the smaller jar of pickles. I was off to the cousins after our shopping endeavour.
So people in South Africa, it's quite common to see people living like in these little complexes. And we're coming to have a potjie here by Simone's cousins. I suppose they're my cousins too. I've adopted them. These are the grandparents.
These are what you call a potjie pot. It's made of cast iron. You make a fire beneath them to cook your stew.
What do we got here?
Right, Matt, so we have onion and leeks, some sweet corn or millies, carrots and potatoes, pretty much just a standard veg for potjie. It's all about the meat, obviously. First one is a chicken and coke potjie.
Chicken and coke.
And then the other one is a beef and beer. We're using Windhoek beer.
All our viewers, I just want to make something clear with you guys. We don't use Coke, we use Coca-Cola. In case there's some doubt there.
Get your salt and pepper ready as well as your garlic. Add your spices. Get your stock ready. And start browning your chicken and beef. Once brown, take out your meat. And add your veggies. Add some water so that your veggies don't burn. And re-add your meat back into the potjie.
Ron's making sure that I must be the tester to see if the beer's off or not. So, yeah, no, she's good.
Add your beer and Coca-Cola to the potjies. Add your spices. And they cook for a while. Once almost done, Grant added some basil to the beef and sparkling apple juice to the chicken to sweeten them up. And enjoy your meal while looking at an amazing sunset. We're off to go get screws and
And a timber!
timber.
So I'm going to show you guys where we pick up our wood from, and these guys profile for us. So there's their name, Joinery by Design, and they profile everything for me, so I just tell them exactly what sizes I want, and when we're doing some of the finishes and that, I'll tell them, okay, listen, I need a fillet this size and I need all these trimmings, and they make it for me.
So when I'm doing this, I always like to do the two ends, make sure that they're flush, and then I do the middle one. The reason for that is, even though we get the machine to cut this and they cut these profiles almost perfect, there's still a slight bit of arc. So what happens is, once I got the two ends secured, and I always try and secure it that it makes a bump like that as opposed to arching outwards, and then the center one I just push down, I screw it down. But if there is a bit of deviation anyways and you already had the two ends in, you just push it in a little bit and then you'd screw it down. For whenever you're doing these uprights and that, I like to take a square so that you don't just eyeball it. Take a square, make sure it's flush against there, make sure it's a flush against there, and then you can mark, or otherwise you can just drill immediately, and then you'll know that that thing's perfectly aligned.
Ricky made sure everything was straight and lined up, and I was on epoxy duty.
So we built the whole frame, and that, as you guys saw, we used green, well, it's polyurethane glue, wood glue, polyurethane wood glue, and some screws, brass, stainless steel, used them both. So we built some of the frame in there, some of the frame in that side, and here's some of it this side. But what I do want to show you is...
Ricky wants to show you guys my sweet epoxy skills.
So what we did on the edge there, we did epoxy fillet, and that's with cotton flock, so it's structural. And then over it we put the peel ply, and that's that material that will absorb all the wax. So once we pull back, we'll be able to paint it and treat the wood in that. So that's what the bench looks like that side. And here's this frame, but this frame still needs to get, we still need to do some work on it. That frame is pretty much done. We're busy with the final epoxying
all the joints in and whatnot, and then we'll epoxy the top sheets on.
We like to use a combination of ice cream sticks and sandwich bags depending on the thickness of the epoxy fillet that we want.
So once we've done doing all the filleting, so now those are structural fillets now that we did in the little joints, but afterwards we'll come around with micro balloons and we'll fill in everything. So that's how she looks at the end of today. That's how I was explaining to you. The wash basin will go in there, and here's the other side where the fridge and cooking top and all of that will be. So it's Valentine's Day and I'm taking my Valentine to the Valentine destination.
It's work.
It's not work.
It's work.
It's our Valentine's spot. I'll show you what Valentine's Day spot. Our Valentine's Day spot here is awaiting for us. Got a good sea view. So yeah, that's what our day will consist of. Let's go work now.
Ricky was so romantic, he even got the birds to serenade me.
What I'm doing now is just templating the ends, and so I put a piece of marine ply against here, and I'm going to trace around the shape of it, and then I'll just add 20 or 30 mils, whatever I feel like adding, and that will give us a rim around the edge so you don't see a sharp edge. I've cut out the whole thing and then I just rounded off the edges, and then I'm going to take a router to it and then I'll router right around. At the moment we're just sanding just to get off those little spikes that were standing up, and then we're going to sand here at the bottom because we're going to run a bead of epoxy right around to secure that, because that side's secured against the bulkhead and this is technically all the stiffness and that on this side, well, part of it, and there's one on both sides. And then there's a nice recessed lip here, so that when we put the cushions down, this will hold the cushions from sliding off this way. Coming along nicely. Nice big seat, eh? See how long it is? Lie down completely.
Good night!
Adios, amigos!
Stay tuned till next week when Ricky receives some of the components to start building our water maker. Thank you for watching. Give us a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, as well as thank you to our two awesome new patrons, Robert Sandham and Walter Cox. We appreciate your support tremendously.